I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Thinking about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. Oh, hello everybody, Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the midnight edition. It's 10:45 edition, Central, 11:45 edition, PM, Eastern. Baby, how y'all is? And if you're in the mountain, well, it's 9:45, 6:40, I don't know, 7:45, 7, 8, 9 to 8:45, and it's something. Come on in, the water is fine. I'm going to talk to you right quick, because I'm going to go to bed. About Deborah. Aren't we tired of hearing about R. Kelly? Y'all tired? Anybody out there tired? We tired, ain't we? Y'all tired? Go on my YouTube channel. If you're there, go ahead and hit the share button. Hit the subscribe. Go ping real quick right now. All y'all watching right now, go ping. Hit the bell and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Because ain't y'all tired of listening to hearing about R. Kelly? Debbie, you tired? Jacob, you tired? Teresa, you tired? I sure is tired. I'm tired. Let me say this before I just get rid of it. You tired too, Deatrice? Wow, all y'all tired of R. Kelly. Frank, you tired too? I did about 3 shows about R. Kelly since last year. I told y'all about how I met him. Way back in the 1980s when he was walking up and down Orr High School looking at the same little girls I was looking at. Of course, me and R. Kelly the same age, so we was the same age as them little girls. I told y'all, about how he would come around the block. And I told y'all how he would come to the house and play bass with my brother Larry. I told y'all that. I told y'all about Earl, his friend, who, well, pray for Earl right now, okay? I told y'all about that, Justin, Jackie. I told y'all about all that, all right? I told y'all about R. Kelly's Pastor Reb, how the Jones brothers, we used to play in the band at the church, and R. Kelly would be on the altar just giving God the praise and repenting before the Lord. Well, I told y'all those stories about my dealings with him and public announcement in the early days. I told y'all that. Okay. The problem is somebody didn't get to him in time. You see, church is designed to stroke mostly females, right? It's designed that way. Yeah, y'all didn't know that? Yeah. The church is designed to stroke females and to cause boys who turn into men to leave that because it's too feminized for them. So R. Kelly was at a place and time where he could have been rescued by men. Unfortunately, the women surrounded him, and because he was absolutely, because he was a star, then the women transferred over to another type of support system. All right, so this show is not about that. But what this show is about, though, is can we still listen to his music? And if doing that, is it causing us to be partakers of his shenanigans? Are we financially supporting his messology? You understand? Are we the ones bailing him out of jail every time he go in there when we listen to his songs on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube musics and things like that? Are you supporting him? Teresa, are we doing that? All right. For those of you who don't know the music business, you probably don't know the impact that you're having when you're listening to his music. But I'm going to go another way with this. I'm going to go another way with this because it might help or not help y'all at all. Okay? First of all, when a person is a recording artist, sometimes he do not own the rights to his own songs, the ones that he wrote. Especially if a recording label gave this person a contract. And what happens is the recording label gets a particular, a piece of the pie. And most times a big old piece of the pie. People are going to say that they are not listening to his music, but listening to it behind closed doors. I know. Not all of being honest. Chris Jakes, that's right. Okay, who owns his master's song and they still selling? Come on, Tony, that's where I'm going. So, the recording label picks up R. Kelly. They decide on a particular type of deal. The recording label, if you know anything about, I think it's Sony. Is it Sony, y'all? If you know anything about the recording industry, the label is in it to make money. Okay, and so what happens is when the deal is signed, they could give him an advancement. They could give him $1 million. All right, but that money is recoupable. All right, so that's just an advance on future earnings. That's not money that you can keep and splurge. Okay, so if the label gives him $1 million, all right, go out there and make me some records, and we'll give you an expense account, and we'll do all these things for you to make some, because we want you to look good as you sell records. If they gave him $1 million, he's got to sell $1 million worth of records, which means he ain't getting no money. All right, they're giving him an expense account, but he's not getting no money up until he reached that $1 million advance. And 1 cent after the $1 million, then he get a percentage. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay? And so, then there's the publishing issue. What you say, Lawrence? If I want to hear a song, I'm going to play it. Come on, man. All right? Come on, Kenneth. Kenneth, so good to see you. All right? So, then there's the publishing. The record label wants your publishing. Ask me how I know. Because publishing is huge. Publishing is huge, you see. They'll give him a cut from the CD sales, the cassette sales, the album, LP sales, okay? They may give him a cut for the digital download, okay? They may give him a cut of if it's played at the jukebox, all right? They may give him a cut if it's played in the elevator. It's probably going to be so small, all right? But then there's the publishing issue there, where there's 50% is given to the songwriter, and then 50% is given to the publisher, of the owner of the publisher of the song, you see. So, I believe I can fly. They say, we want that. Yeah. So, they'll say, let's make a deal. Give us 80% of the publishing of that song. Sometimes they'll say, give us 100% of the publishing, and if you do that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you this and we're going to give you that, but we own the rights to the song. And that's why some of you who upload songs on YouTube and they flag you, it'll say UGM, UGG, or UC, or anybody, or Sony or Columbia or somebody pull the song. Okay, had YouTube to pull the song because Columbia owned the rights. It doesn't say R. Kelly owned the rights. It doesn't say Walter Jones, Lawrence Jones, or Michael Jackson owned the rights. It'll say a company owned the rights, right? Because they own the publishing of they own the digital portion of it. You see, so when you get to this place where you think you're supporting people, in many cases you're not. You're supporting the label. You're supporting the production company. R. Kelly didn't write I Believe I Can Fly, but let me get back. Yeah, I'm only singing that because, well, Hey, Sean, come on, man. Stop playing. Only a few of us know this. Okay, and so the record label wants portions of everything you have, and then there's a thing called a 360 deal, and the 360 deal works to the benefit of the recording company, because a lot of them was losing money on these deals, and many of you were stealing, was downloading illegally and things like that. And so the record labels used to be a whole bunch of them, then they went down to the top 10, and then the top 7, then the top 5. Okay, and it's the same way with the radio stations. There's only a couple of radio stations that own all the stations around the world. Okay, AM, FM, iHeart, what's the other one? There's just a couple of them, okay? And they just have a monopoly almost on a lot of these stations. So the record labels are the same way. So the internet has leveled the playing field for cats like us, the starving artists, all right? In my book writing, okay? All right? I just released this book called The 4 Women That Men Desire, okay? I could have went through a traditional publisher, all right? Many publishers would not take a chance on a guy who don't have a following. Well, I have a following. You understand? And so these companies, publishing companies, probably would have given me a taste. Say, hey, you know what? This guy got a big following, all right? And the book is flying off the shelves. Why? Because I'm self-publishing it, but I got to promote my butt off for this book. Okay, it's Sirwalterj Publishing on the back. So what's the advantage of this? The advantage is I own it. So whatever, all the book sales come directly to me if I'm selling it out of my house. But this book is also on Amazon.com. All right, so Amazon is serving as a distributor. All right, they're not my label. They're not my publisher. Matter of fact, the only thing they really serve as, they like the store. And they serve as the printer. They print the books on demand, and you pay $15 for it. They get me a cut. They give me a cut of about $6, okay? And they pay me what's called royalties. I get royalty payments from Amazon every 2 months. And believe it or not, that's pretty decent for royalties. If I went through a traditional publisher, I would probably get $1.50, $2, maybe $2.50. Okay, from a traditional publisher, because they may offer me a deal where they give me an advance on this book, and I got to sell a whole lot of books to reach up to that advance, and then whatever's after that, I get a cut from that. That could take a while. You understand what I'm saying? So self-publishing today is just the way to go if you know how to do marketing and promotions. So I can take 10 books and like I do every weekend, I take 10 books down to the church, and I come home with $150. Minus my expenses. My expenses was I might have paid $50-$60 for those books. It cost me $50 or $60 to get them printed and to get them shipped to me. I take those books down to the church house, and I come home with $150. Come on, y'all. What kind of wonderful odds is that? Wonderful. That's great odds, all right? That's proper investment into your own business. And so what I do, I take that $150, you know what I do? I go back and get another pressing of another 20, 50, 100, okay, books. You see what I'm saying? And then I recycle, keep putting it back. I don't take that $150 and buy me some shoes and some socks and a new tailored suit and taking exotic trips. No, I put that back into printing more books. I put it back into writing more books and software and for my editor and what have you, because that's the way you're supposed to do it. All right. So being a self-publisher, I'm afforded that ability to reap the benefits from that. And Amazon will pay me the royalties. If a traditional publisher was to pay me royalties, they would pay me, if I'm in the music business, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC would pay me every quarterly, maybe every 4 months. So I'll get my royalty checks way down the road. But at least with Amazon, I get paid every 60 days, okay? And at least you know what's coming. So R. Kelly would be receiving monies depending on what the contract is, okay? So if you are Spotifying his music or you listen to his music on iTunes, he may not be getting any money for that. He may not be getting 1 red cent on that, depending on what the deal is with his label. The label dropped him, all right? So we don't know, all right? I will say this, though. I think that the man is brilliant in his writing skills. Whatever songs he wrote, or even if he just arranged many of those songs, he's a brilliant man. But many people who struggled in life, who've gone through heartaches and troubles and molestations and abandonment and depression, they can write their butts off. Not just in the music, but they can also write books. I went through hell. I went through hell and high water. All right, my experiences that I write about in this book is really like an autobiography of my life with women. That's pretty much what this book is. It's about the 4 women that I've dated and I was married to. Okay, it's 4 of them, and many of the men out there have married and dated these same 4 women. Not same, you know what I mean, in flesh. And every woman who's watching this show right now is one of those 4 women. Every one of you is one of the 4, and I go in debt in that. All right. So my raggedy life produced a will-be best-selling book. Why? It's my life. I didn't lie in this book. I was extremely transparent. That is the songs of R. Kelly. Okay, that is to say, Donald Smith, yes sir, you need a copy? I got you, brother. That is the mentality and the life of R. Kelly. His raggedy life, and then his sensuality, his desire, his flesh, his pornographic ways, and his imagination caused these songs to flow out into the world, into the neighborhoods, into the minds of us who are young, and we ran with it, and we bought the records, and we made babies to his music, and he made hundreds of millions of dollars because of it. All right. So what do we do with this? Can we go back and you can listen to whatever song you want to? I will say this though. I'm getting that book so I can see just how bad of a scoundrel you were, Jenny. Yeah, get it. Go to Amazon.com right now. The 4 women that I like to say that Sirwalterj Jones is the only author on Amazon. I'm the only author with that name, Sirwalterj Jones. There are no, out of the millions of books out there, I'm the only one. So you could, it ain't gonna be hard for you to find this book. Just type in Sirwalterj Jones and bam, at the top of the page, there it is, $15, and you can have it in 2 days if you got Amazon Prime. All right, my life is in that book. Lord have mercy. But here's the thing: if you say that you cannot listen to R. Kelly's music, then there are a lot of other music and artists that you probably should not listen to because of their lifestyle. You see, when we look at a man who did these things to these black women, we look at that as being a horrible situation. But there are different other things that are just as horrible in the sight of God. All right, there are other things that as put in the same bucket. When we return to Romans chapter 1, and I'm getting ready to preach to y'all. Come on, David, please. Come on, get your copy, Doc. Come on, yes sir. Donald, yes sir. You'll pay extra? I got you. Yes sir. You look at the sins of the flesh in the scriptures. Okay, Jermaine ain't gonna bump the ground no more. And you look at many of them are in the same area, whether it's lying, whether it's fornication, whether it's adultery, whether it's murder, whether it's extortion, whether it's witchcraft, sorcery, okay, whether it's revelry, revilers, as the scriptures call it, okay, whether it's sowing discord among the brethren, whether it's not looking to the poor. All these sins are the sins of the flesh that's brought out in all throughout scripture. It's in different places, and I did that show on the whiteboard. Go to my YouTube show. I talk about the sins of the flesh. I don't know if I got it up there yet. I got to put that up there this week, okay? All those are considered by God, including homosexuality. They all are placed in the same bucket, okay? You just order my book? Oh, my Lord. Deborah, you're going to get it by Wednesday, I bet you, if you got Prime. Hallelujah. Deborah, you all right by me. You humble. You got the right name. Her name is Deborah Davis Humble, y'all. She humble, and she got the book. Read it and give me a review on Amazon. Right now, I got 99%, 5 stars are right there from reviews. It's amazing. My God, I want to cry. The Lord is blessed. It took me 6 months to write that book. 6 months. I've been trying to write it for 20 years. So R. Kelly, listening to his music, what is it going to do to you? Well, what did it do to you before? What's the difference? And I know the issue is silence R. Kelly, don't listen to his music. Get you. I get it. Do you not know? I think I heard D.L. Hughley say, is it Hughley? He talked about how when y'all sing the national anthem at all your ball games, whether it's grammar school, high school, college, NFL, NBA, the hockey league, okay, the women's tournament of the something, all right, they go, oh, say, can you see? Okay, and you look at the writings that they don't read or they don't sing. You look at the verses that they don't sing, and you look at the history of that song. And Francis Key, is that whatever his name is? Okay, Francis Scott Key, is that his name? All right. You look at the depiction of how they felt about you, black people, okay, and how it's still readily available on the net if you really want to research it. Okay, I look at somebody like Elvis Presley. All right, Elvis Presley said to one person, he said, the only thing the nigga can do is shine my shoes. And y'all still was twisting to Elvis. Y'all was singing all kind of jailhouse rocks and what have you. Your mama, your grandmama, and your great-grandmama. Y'all, and some of y'all still got it on your playlist. I look at the Westerner. I look at, what's his name? John Wayne Gacy. Wait, I'm sorry. John Wayne. Did I put Gacy in there? John Wayne. Yeah, oh, you little rascal, you. Okay, I can't do him. All right? I think he was a bigot. He was a big art. Okay? And so I look at some of these artists. I look at some of you look at Turner Classic Movies, and you look at some of the black and white movies. You look at some of the silent flicks, okay? You look at some of the MGM musicals. Many of those people from the production companies, from the executives, the producers, and the actors and actresses were big arts. They were a part of that Jim Crow era. All right, they were the ones who would sing at the churches, onward Christian soldiers, and when they close the book and go burn a cross in your lawn, and then go down into the Hollywood studios, and they didn't want to act with a black person. White people, they acted like Indians. They would not hire Indians to do Indian work, okay, to be an Indian. So the white people would put on the paint and what have you. They either do blackface because they didn't want a black person to do it, or they put on the feathers and what have you and act like an Indian. A Tonto, the Tontos when we was watching Lone Ranger was a white guy, okay. All right, and that's the way it was. They didn't like you. They couldn't work with you. They would go down there to the New York theater. What was it called? What was it called, y'all? The theater, and the black people could dance on stage, but they couldn't sit in the front row. They couldn't sit in the audience. They had to sit in the back on the balcony, and the actors and the dancers and the entertainers had to go through the back door, the backstage, stage left. Okay, that's just the way it was. Yet here we are. Here we are. Their blood has washed their foul footsteps. Pollution, no refuge could save the hireling and slave. There it is. Amber Rogers is giving y'all the lyrics to that song. Yet y'all stand up for that dastardly song. Okay, thank you, Carlos the Apollo. All right. So if you're going to silence R. Kelly, because it's so deplorable what he is doing, what he did, and what he still is doing, you must go through your playlist and silence hundreds, maybe thousands of your songs. Go on your cable box, Comcast and Xfinity, and Wow Cable, and I don't know what other cables y'all got down there. AT&T. Go down and go on Google and look at all, and you can readily find that stuff, and then tell your cable company, I want this show off the air. I don't want you to play this movie. I want to take this channel off I ain't paying for this. Do y'all not understand? Y'all are paying every day. Y'all are shopping for your clothes for people in Europe, people over in other foreign lands who create these clothing, who hate you, call you niggas, and put ropes and nooses on shirts, and put babies on there and call this one a monkey, this black baby a monkey, and call this one here is a cute little innocent white boy, girl, okay? They don't want you to wear their clothes. They hate you. You are a nigga to them always, yet y'all run down there to those stores. Y'all the first one at Abercrombie and Hitch Fitch. So I'm trying to tell y'all are turning into hypocrites. If you're going to silence R. Kelly, you need to silence your iPhone. You need to silence Facebook. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg is the richest atheist in the country. So if those of you who are overly religious, you need to take your Facebook and delete it from your desktop and your phones and your laptops and iPods and iPads and everything. Delete it. You understand what I'm saying? So you cannot escape. Somebody else says, well, I don't know this. Yes, you do. You got the freaking internet. There's no reason today why nobody have any excuse to say, I didn't know he was this way. He tell y'all this. All you got to do is turn on Bill Maher, okay, on HBO. He's the biggest atheist there is, okay. He hate Christians. He think y'all are stupid, okay. I look at Bill Nye, the science guy. I enjoyed Bill Nye. I love Bill Nye. He taught me so much science in the 90s. All right, and he came on Saturday mornings. But then I didn't know he was an atheist until he had a debate with another well-known apologetic, and then he said, "People who believe in God are crazy." That's what he said. Bill Nye, the science guy, and immediately I turned that fool off. I turned him off. I just had to turn him off. Why? Because these people are telling y'all that we are God haters. We hate God and we hate niggers. And so these people have been telling you this, and you still will run to see their movies. You still got their CDs and their downloads, and you still got a record collection. Your grandpa's collection of Elvis Presley and all these people. You still got the collection, and every now and then you spin it. So you're going to silence R. Kelly. You got to silence yourself. I'm just trying to tell y'all. So I'm not telling you that don't silence R. Kelly because you got all that stuff. I'm telling you that you're hypocrites. Don't just silence R. Kelly and not silence all this other stuff that the people who have caused you to be, well, struggling, trying to make it and driving while black and wondering those lights is flashing behind you. Am I going to make it to the house safe or not? Or am I going to go be in jail, or I'm going to be dead one day? Al Greer, blessings to you, sir. So R. Kelly is doing a deplorable thing. He is doing probably the same thing many of us are doing. His sin is taken into consideration under a microscope. That is that particular sins with the women. But some of y'all have different types of sins that God put in the same bracket as R. Kelly. The man needs healing. He needs somebody, a male perspective. He needs a persuasion. He needs to stay away from the women, but he can't. He's got a disease. All right, he's got this. He's a sex addict, and this thing don't get better. Jail don't make it better. Bailing him out of jail and getting him the best lawyers. These things don't make him better. You understand? He will get worse and worse. Why you think this thing has been hovering over him for over 20-something years? Why? Because they don't get better. They get worse until they come and meet somebody who can speak into his heart and then let God intervene into him. Until that happens, he will never be delivered from all of these women and this lust and pornography and things like that. He will never be delivered from that. Here he is defending himself on TV, and two of his women, young women, two of his daughters, okay, he's staying with his daughters. And believe me and trust me this, these two girls are also sleeping with themselves. So there's lesbianism going on as well. There's a menage a trois going on there as well. And so I would not be trying to defend myself saying I'm not doing this with with women, and then have the two women that just so that kind of sin causes a person to even do dumb things. It is mental illness, Sierra, my sweet daughter. It is. He needs deliverance. So this show is not about the deliverance of the man. I did those shows already. This show really is about, can you feel okay to listen to the man's music and go to bed at night and wondering, are you supporting this man's actions? Well, we don't know, because we don't know the contractual agreement between him and Sony. Well, the label is gone anyway, but even if the label dropped him, there's still at times there are royalties owed to a man even after the label or the contract is released. He's released from contracts, okay, what have you. And plus, you know, he did some other little things through his own production. So it's not just Sony. His money wasn't just coming through Sony's royalties. There are other little things that you do on the side, all right, if he was smart. And he's got people who are sending him money. He's got friends from around the world. And he's just like that man in the scriptures who was in trouble with the king. Was it the king like that? And he had to go and get this money and forgive this person and forgive that person, because it was two stories that Jesus brought up. He was forgiven by the king, but then he went and started not forgiving the people who owned him money. And then the king found out, and then he wound up getting in trouble. But then the other parable was he owed money, and he went and forgave debts. It's you know, it's all over the place, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Elizabeth says, I don't see nothing wrong. That was a good play on words right there. Who you saying that? We sing the national anthem at sports events. Yes. If you came you came in a little late, but that's what I said about 15 minutes ago. That's exactly the same thing I talked about. I talked about the anthem and some of the artists out there and actors. We are surrounded by bigotry and xenophobe and people who hate you, yet you support their ministries. We support plenty of people and things that go against our so-called morals. I love R. Kelly as a writer, not the freak music, but his ability, Sierra. And this is where I want to say, I think the man is a brilliant writer. I don't want to support him financially. I don't want to do that. I think that, you know, I already have an account with iTunes where I get every month I pay a few dollars for free music, okay? But that's free music for everybody. So if I listen to R. Kelly on iTunes right now, I'm not necessarily supporting him directly, because, and I might or I may not. It don't matter, because I got that deal with iTunes. I'm supporting everybody, no matter what they think about me. I'm supporting the music business at large. iTunes paid a fee to free them, give them the ability or license to offer music to the general public. That's the deal that iTunes have with the particular recording labels and the license holders and those who hold the license of the publishing. All right, so I pay one fee. If I listen to R. Kelly, well, I'm sorry. All right, now I'm not into that raunchy music. I'm not. But I will say there's probably about 5 songs that R. Kelly wrote that is a blessing, and I think that man tapped into something when he wrote those particular songs or arranged them. I think the world's greatest is might be my favorite from R. Kelly, is the one called The World's Greatest. All right? Was it written for a movie, y'all? Was it Rocky? I don't remember. I know it was a movie soundtrack. Okay? There's one, Trade in My Life. I think that's another one. Another great one. Even the one called Hug a Thug. Brother, can you hug a thug? Is that the one? Thank you, Carlos Ali. Hug a Thug. I don't know why I like that song, but I do. If I could turn back the hands of... Yes, Green. You see what I'm saying? Those songs are a blessing. Do y'all not know, Lisa Ivy, that there are gospel songs that y'all are supporting that are these artists who are sleeping with women and men who are not their husbands and wives? Y'all are supporting them. They're getting busted all the time, and y'all still support them. Misappropriation of funds. They're on the down low. They're homosexuals. They're stealing from the banks. Okay, all kind of stuff. They were beating. Some were beating their wives and beating their children. Okay, a lot of these things. All right, but you're still supporting their ministries. You're still buying their CDs and their downloads. So why would you do that for a gospel artist and think it's fine, but then say you're not going to do that for R. Kelly because he's doing these things? So my point is, I'm not telling you to continue to support R. Kelly. I'm telling you, you cannot walk around being a hypocrite. Yeah, reveal them all, Deborah. Yeah, you cannot continue to be a hypocrite. Some of y'all's pastors are nasty scoundrels. They are sleeping right now. They're not at home. The first lady is at home by herself in the bed or watching TV, and her husband, the pastor, is in somebody's bed right now. He's in somebody's hotel room right now. Your pastor. Yes. Yes. Yeah. You didn't know that? Right now. And trust me, the church going to be full again on Sunday, and y'all going to be, oh, praise the Lord, pastor, you sure did preach. And then he going to get discovered that he's done this stuff. And like Donald Trump, he can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not lose one voter. And that's the way some of these pastors, people are. You know, you get them to a place. And that's why R. Kelly is able to get bailed out of jail a lot, because he's made these deals around the world. He can't stay in jail until the judge says, all right, remove the bail. Y'all understand? R. Kelly has been singing songs telling us what he was doing for decades. Yes. What y'all think the keys to ignition was? It wasn't about his car. Yeah. Seems like you're ready. He was given the platform to describe his tryst. Yes. Sit down on the couch was a line he used directly how he was going to open up the molest. Come on. There it is. There it is. There it is. Come on, Elizabeth Taylor. I like saying your name, by the way. Deanne, I had to leave the entire circle of gospel musicians in the region because of the issues you are bringing up. Deanne, the gospel musicians, they were the nastiest of them all. I would go and travel with these, what they call community choirs, and check into these hotels, and I literally had to sleep with one eye open. Okay, I had to put, you know, you got to take the chair that and push the chair up against the door, and prop it somehow so that one of these dudes won't break in. And you know what I'm saying? I went to college. I went and I stayed in the men's dorm, and it was nothing for me to hear these homosexuals right next to me on the cross from me having sex. I'm an 18-year-old boy in college. All right, so these things happens a lot. So don't think because these people are singing worldly songs that they're the la creme, how y'all say la creme, or whatever you say, okay? Don't think that they're the worst. Y'all are worshiping with many of the worst. Jesus said that this prostitute, he said the publican and the hoe gonna get to heaven before you do. Yeah, he said that. Jesus said it, because these Christians were fighting and saying, which one is going to be the greatest in the kingdom? And Christ says, well, it ain't none of y'all. You see the little boy over there? He the greatest in the kingdom. You see that hoe over there? She might be hoeing right now, but I'm about to touch her. She ain't going to be hoeing all her life. She going to be delivered from this hoeing, and she's going to win people to me. Y'all following me, but you're wolves in sheep clothing. So we've got to still talk about the R. Kelly thing. Don't dismiss it. Don't just say, don't judge him, leave him alone, pray for him, and he'll be all okay. Well, you got to understand, the whole pedophilia system is rising up from these men, okay? It's mostly Caucasian men who are bombarding Congress and trying to change laws and using their monies like the homosexuals did to change laws. These pedophiles are doing the same thing to try to change these laws so that it'll be okay. And they're going to have a good point because of the homosexuals. The homosexual laws have gave the pedophiles a way in the door. And when they get up to a certain point where they can really get their point across, The government has got to let them in to have their way with your children. So you cannot let a person like R. Kelly just, well, the system is going to take care of it. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. Well, you got to understand, this man is a black man, and so you guys are trying to rescue him, saying that we're destroying a black man. No, you're destroying a man who's not only destroying the lives of these children, but he's destroying himself as well. The actor says Nambla, N-A-M-B-L-A. Y'all remember them Nambla nasty people, okay? So what? He's black. He's still a man who's causing, he's disrupting the mental development of these little girls. You understand? Now, all of the little girls are not as young and innocent, okay? Because some girls can be 15, yet they have the mentality of a 25, 30-year-old. That was me. I'm always 10 years older than I am, all right? So some of them looked at an opportunity to be with R. Kelly. Parents looked at an opportunity to be with R. Kelly. And so they were pushed into this man's arms, and then he had his way with them. So when they couldn't get what they needed, when they realized that he was this tyrant person, then they said, I got to get out of this. Help, help. Then they began to cry rape. But in many cases, they wanted this. They felt like they needed this, and their parents and their families and friends pushed them into the arms of this monster. The monster lies within. You see, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. This is not R. Kelly, the outward person that's doing this. This is the inward principality in the man that's doing this. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. We're fighting against the principality that lie within inside of R. Kelly. Do y'all not understand what I'm saying? This is an attack against his psyche, his mind, his unconsciousness, which caused him his consciousness to do these things, okay? So he's been attacked, so now he attacks. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's the powers of darkness. That's what it is. So these family members pushed these little girls in this man's arms, and now they're trying to pull them out of it, but because you couldn't get what you wanted out of this superstar. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Tobias, you better preach this, Ephesians 6. You see what I'm saying? So we can't continue to give a green light and give you're playing Monopoly. What's that? Don't stop at go whatever. Okay, we're giving a green light to these young women and their parents and friends. You can't. They are just as much as responsible for this man continually to. They gave him pellets. All right, they gave him these power pellets to do what he did and do what he continued to do. You see, so then when the money run out, they run dry, and then when the sales are low, and then when the authorities, the police come and the government come out, then everybody want to cry rape. Don't fall for the rope-a-dope. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. No, not going to do it. No, please. We're in the battle, spiritual warfare. The church stopped teaching that years ago. Tobias Green, come on. That's what I'm saying. This is another Bill Cosby situation. People waiting years after their money dried up. R. Kelly is wrong, but he was giving authority to do this act. So please don't come to me with this, you're killing another black man. This black man is killing himself and these women. And then these women are killing themselves, and then their parents are killing the women. And it's a vicious cycle. So I don't want to hear y'all's protection of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and all these other people who, because they got dark skin, y'all think that it's an attack towards all these black men. In some cases, it is. I believe in some cases it is. Okay? But you still cannot dismiss these dastardly deeds from these black men who are causing this stuff to happen, or wallowing in this parade of party and fun and revelry. You see, if R. Kelly would just give his life fully to God, he would not have to continue every 10 years to defend his actions. He has not given his life to God. So he will continue to say, I did not do this. I did not. He can't tell the truth because he's afraid. And he don't know the power of God's forgiveness. He don't understand that. You see, I remember lying to the authorities just like R. Kelly. I didn't scream and jump up and down. Y'all killing me with this. All right, that was not me. But I remember getting ready to go to jail and lying through my teeth. All right, because I did not want my insides to be on the outside so you can see that, wow, he did that. So I suffered because I didn't tell the truth. But it only took me a couple of days when I realized, you know what, brother? If you tell the truth right now, you will be free for the rest of your life, even if you're in jail. Because when you're behind bars and you've told the truth, at least your conscience is free, and God will find a way to get your butt out of jail. And that's what happened to me. I spent 2 to 3 weeks in there. After I told the truth, I went to jail, not as a sentence. I was in jail waiting on a sentence. And then when I got before the judge on sentencing day, I was facing 19 years, which was unfair for the little thing that I did. But I was facing 19 years. And I stood before the judge, a white judge at that. And he says, all right, where's your lawyer? I told him, I'm a fool. He says, huh? You, excuse me? I said, yes. I said, surely, Judge, you've heard the old saying that a person who defends himself has a fool for counsel. He said, yes. I said, I'm that fool. He said, you sure you want to do this? I says, I'm that fool. He says, well, continue, sir. And I says, I did the crime. And then I told the judge, I said, no disrespect to you, but I will tell you that if I'm put back out there on the street, I know for a fact that I could be a model citizen, that I can do more good now than I ever have. I says, but because I did the crime, the jail was right next door because I was in the courthouse in the jail. I says, because I did the crime, put me back in the jail. And if you put me back over there, I'm still going to be a good man. And I'm going to minister to those, my cellies, okay? And I'm going to live out my time and go back out in that same street and still be a model citizen. So, judge, it's up to you. You have the power of life and death. That's what I told the white judge. I have witnesses in the courtroom, all right? I'm waiting for one to pop up, and he ain't here yet. And the stenographer was writing, and I think she was crying at the same time, all right? And the judge, there was a hush in the room. And the judge laughed. And I said, uh-oh, I'm dead. He laughed. He says, in all my years of practicing law and being a judge on this bench, I never heard a man say, put me in jail. I've never heard such transparency. And he took his stick. He took his stick. Bam! He said, case dismissed. Pay the secretary on the way out. He says, I'm gonna put you on a probation, but if you pay this fee on time, call me. I swear, y'all, I swear, he said, if you pay this fee, call me personally, and I will wipe this from your record. That's what he said. You know why he did that? Because I told the truth. Who else was listening to me? God above. You see, because I was not scared of the judge. Not that one. I was scared of the righteous judge. See, that was an ungodly judge. The scripture says we shouldn't be suing each other anyway. You see what I'm saying? The scripture says saints should not be going to an unjust judge for the matters between saints. And what happened to me was a matter between saints. And the saints sued me. You understand what I'm saying? So we went to an unjust judge. So what did God do? God says, did I not tell you to take this matter to the church? But because you did not do this, I got to free that man. But he told me, God says, but you tell this unjust judge the truth. I did. And God says, all right, now that you told him the truth, I've got to free you through the hands of that man. And the man went, bam, get out of my courtroom. I don't want to see you again. You see what I'm saying? And that's the way it's supposed to work. If R. Kelly just come real with himself. To thine own self be true. That's not scripture, but it's Shakespearean, so it's close. To thine own self be real. I did this. I need help. And trust me, there are thousands of people out there for free would get that man the help he needs, whether he's outside of the jail or inside. You come clean and watch God move. But right now, he got all women surrounding him who want to sleep with him. He got men who around him who are pulling from his pocketbooks, who are yes men. You understand? Who are helping to perpetuate this mess. And I told y'all in a word of knowledge last month that this year, 2019, God is going to pull the cover off these men and women who are hiding these liars and these people who are in politics and these false prophets, okay? The prophets and these politicians who are doing these horrible things, yeah, God gonna take care of them, but the ones who are covering them, who are sheltering them, who are housing them, who are accessories to the crime, God is really going after these people, and he's gonna pull the cover off of them. Y'all hear me what I say. There's gonna be a whole lot of death this year. You have never seen the death rate like you're gonna see this year, 2019. And some of y'all's houses are going to get hit. And I saw somebody in my own family, well, they're going to meet their maker this year. All right? You're going to see more deaths this year in 2019 than you have ever seen. And I'm not talking about from old people. You're going to see some old people die, but you're going to see some young people die. You're going to see middle-aged people just die. And you're like, what happened? Because 2019 is, I believe, is a type of judgment year. I believe it. All right? I told y'all that last month. And for the whole month of February and part of March, you've been seeing these people drop. And some of y'all got them in your family. And again, I hate to say, but somebody in my family not going to make it this year. And so I continue to pray. I continue to fast. I continue to ask God help. Please, God. Don't let it hit my house. Don't let it. When I say my house, I mean my family, not my immediate family. I mean like the clan. Okay? So y'all can ignore this all you want to, but y'all know I don't drop prophetic words to y'all on all of the hundreds and hundreds of shows that I have. Rarely do I give you a word of knowledge, but I'm telling you this moment and this day, 2019 is going to end in catastrophe. I see an airplane falling out of the sky right now. And I'm not talking about over in Ethiopia. I'm not talking about over in some foreign land. I see an airplane dropping out of the sky this year in America. All right? And I'm telling you, there are natural occurrences that happen every year. That's going to happen, of course. The scriptures already talked about that, so you don't have to look to a new prophet to tell you that there's going to be thunderstorms and tornadoes. Well, hello, that's going to happen, and it's going to be more this year. Why? Because it's supposed to happen. But it's going to be extremely unusual. Get ready for it. So what do you need to do? Get your ducks in a row. Get yourself ready. You get that business going, all right? You write that book. You do your investment. You teach your children, all right? Monday, tomorrow, I'm supposed to do a whiteboard teaching on why poor people stay poor. Last Monday, I talked about why Christians are poor. But now I'm going to talk about why is it that every time you do something to try to come out of this poverty, you can never get out of it. Why? There's a reason why you can't get out of it. And I want to talk about that Monday. For those of you who's watching this on a Sunday. All right? So continue to pray for R. Kelly. But let me tell you, protect your daughters. Even at church. Don't let your daughters and your sons go down into the bathroom by themselves. Don't let them play in the hallways by themselves while y'all up there listen to the pastor and the choir saying, some man or some woman got your kids in the boiler room and they're being molested. That happened today in somebody's church, Sunday. All right? So y'all got to protect your children like never before. Get on their darn nerves and protect them. Watch their every move. My parents didn't let us just wander out of the service. We sat on the front row, and my father and mama had their eyes glued to us. They wouldn't let us leave that church I don't care if we was in church for 4 or 5 hours. We were not allowed to go to the restroom by ourselves. We were not allowed to go over to anybody's house for dinner without my parents being there. We were not allowed to have pajama parties and sleepovers at anybody's house unless my parents were there. You understand what I'm saying? They protected us to the very end. All right? You got to do that as well. Or you're going to slip into the arms, your daughters and sons going to slip into the arms of another R. Kelly. Trust me on this. You better believe it. You better believe it. And run background checks on the teachers. Come on, Tobias. You preaching this. Ooh, yes, protect the children. Let's, Lord knows I don't want to tear the church up. Come on, Halton. Come on. Man, Halton, I think I saw you on Goodreads. I think I saw you on Goodreads yesterday. We're going to have to, let's talk. The 4 women that men desire. If the 43 of y'all go to Amazon right now and type in Sirwalterj and buy the book, let's have a discussion about it, okay? I've got churches who want to have a discussion group, a ladies group, men group as well, on my book, all right? Because I talk about some really hardcore stuff that if you read it, you say, is that R. Kelly writing that book? Man, I did some stuff, all right? And I wrote about it because of the transparency. I wrote this to help some people, all right? Go to Amazon right now, or you on YouTube, the 4 women that men desire. You see the book, right? That's what it looks like on Amazon, Sirwalterj. Buy it and read it. It's only going to take 1 hour. Most people read that in 1 hour. And leave a comment. Hit me up in the email, giftedfriends@aol.com. Let me know what you thought about it. I might send you a present. I'll give you a bookmark, okay? How about that? I'll send this free of charge, okay? I'll send that free of charge. All right? That's all I really wanted to say. I know one thing, Sirwalterj, your shows are the reason I get data usage warnings each month. Geneva, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm going to have to send you a book free of charge. Did you buy one already? If you did, I got the second book coming out real soon, so I'm going to have to hook you up. giftedfriends@aol.com. Read the book. Hit me up in the email. Let me know what you thought about it. Let's talk, and maybe we could, I don't know, if y'all got a book, ship it to me. I would love to read, do a review on your book. I do them on Tuesdays anyway at 3 o'clock Central. Okay, y'all. Pray for R. Kelly. Pray for those girls because their minds are pretty much like almost gone. They're still attached, but it's a, what's that syndrome, y'all? What is that? When you are in love with your captive? Is that Stockholm? It's kind of like a Stockholmish type syndrome. It may not be bona fide, but it looks like it, don't it? Stockholmish, okay? Because it's not really bona fide Stockholmish because Stockholm it started off with an attack, with a capture, with a kidnap. Okay, it started off like a person who smokes and the body rejects it with the and the coughing and all kinds. And then the body gets used to the smoke, the cigarette, then it wants more. Your body, it has Stockholm towards the cigarette. In R. Kelly's and these girls' situation, it may not be that. It's just occultism, Jenny Hobart is saying. It's pretty much what it is. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I don't even know how to spell it. Q. Okay. Go to SNL. Saturday Night Live did a crazy cold opening. That's what they call it. Okay. And run. Let me see what y'all saying. That's not the word, but it's close enough. Stephen Perry, the audiobook is not ready just yet. I'm going to be starting that this week. It's funny you should say that. Yeah, because I just purchased the microphone that I really need to do the work that I need to do. Okay, so I will be doing the audio version of that this week. I'm doing the audio. I'm not paying nobody because it's my words. Okay, I already took care of that. All right, I will be starting that. I'll be shutting the studio down for about a week, and I will be recording the audio to that book. All right, and so the people could play it in their cars, play it in the church, and to your children, and do whatever you need to do. All right, I suggest you get the book first, and then you could do a read along or what have you, and we'll go from there. All right, I think I've talked y'all to death. I believe I can fly. Yeah, I might turn on one of them songs tonight just to listen to the lyrics and say, man, you know what? It's a shame. He's still alive. there's still chance God can still deliver him from himself. He can get out of there and continue to write. Ken Sean, who wrote it? Seth want to know who wrote I Believe I Can Fly. Sean, you got to tell Seth who wrote it. Because I believe I know. I'm not talking about I believe I know who can fly. I believe I know. I remember what happened, when it happened. I remember when he was in Chicago singing it at the Regal Theater on 79th and Stony Island. And, you know, Stony, 79th, South Chicago. Y'all know that little busy corner right there? Right across the street from Leon's Barbecue? It was a talent show at the Regal Theater. Yeah. Beyonce and her husband, Jay-Z, owns the Regal right now. They bought it a few years ago. They ain't never done nothing with it. I guess they were trying to get some kind of tax, something. I don't know why you would do that. But anyway, it's still sitting there. But I remember she's 25. She may need to read it for down the road. Who? Jenny? What are you talking about? Oh, I'll get the book for my daughter also. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny, you are the greatest. I loved it at your girl. Don't let nobody else know that. I know 35 folk are watching right now. Don't let them know. Keep that on the down. Keep it on the down low. All right, y'all. I got to go. I love y'all. It's popcorn time. Time to study. Hit the share button, will you please? If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe. Okay? It's popcorn time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Buy the book.